former South Carolina running back, former San Francisco 49er running back, Marcus Lattimore. Marcus.
How's it going? I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
And now, Marcus, good news for you. You got your degree. You promised your mom you would get your degree. What did it feel like? And what's it feel like to be a college graduate?
Well, I will tell you, I come from a family where the expectation level was set with my siblings. You know, they all had their degrees, and I left early as a junior to go to the NFL draft and, you know, try to pursue my dream one more time. And when I left, I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I was the only sibling that did not have my degree. And I knew I had to go back at some point. I didn't think it would be as early as it was. I enjoyed my time out in San Francisco, but unfortunately it did not work out, and I was determined when I retired from the NFL that I had to go back. I mean, first of all, I promised my mom that, and second, I know that's something somebody can never take away from me. I mean, knowledge is power. Education is power. And I truly believe that, and that's what I preach now to all the young kids and young adults that I work with today.
And you're doing that through the Marcus Lattimore Foundation. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. It really all started as an idea. You know, me and my stepdad, I'm sitting in the surgery bed after that second injury against Tennessee, and you do a lot of thinking. You do a lot of soul searching. You really try to find yourself during those times of adversity. And I knew I wanted to start something for student athletes, who, in particular, who have been injured. So what we do is we educate. We educate them on the process. Psychologically, I help them out when they're going through an injury. Physically, on the physical side, I partner with a company, The Extra Inch. One of my best friends, DJ Johnson, is the head trainer, and he helps them out on the physical standpoint. So we hit all three elements, and we also have three different components. But we service over 2,000 student athletes. We did 8 camps this summer in the state of South Carolina, different fitness camps, football camps. And we're really preaching health and wellness and trying to educate the parents as well as the student athletes. But we also do a little bit of outreach. And we went to a few areas, especially low socioeconomic areas that, you know, just don't have the resources available. And, you know, we do a Thanksgiving project, and we also do a Christmas project where we take a few kids shopping. And, I mean, it's just, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I retired. I mean, I know I wanted to be involved in health and wellness in some capacity, but, I mean, this platform that football has given me, I've been able to touch a lot of lives. So the foundation is going well, and I really appreciate you asking that.
So let me ask you this, and going back when you had the injury and everything, when that injury went down against Tennessee, did you think at that point that your career possibly could be over?
I did. I absolutely did. The night before that game, the Friday night, I was a team captain, and I told the team, guys, go out there and play every play like it's your last, because it may be your last. And little did I know, with 4 minutes going into the second quarter, I take power right, and the guy hits me directly on my knee, and I couldn't feel a thing.
Wow.
And I asked the athletic trainer, was I done? And he said yes. And what I meant by that was done forever. And at that moment, at my lowest moment, I couldn't get any lower. I really felt empty. I felt empty as a human being because I never cheated. I never quit. I worked hard. I respected everybody. And I had to ask the question, why did this happen to me? But fortunately, I have great people around me. And I thought about all the people that I would hurt, all the people that look up to me if I was to just give up on life, because I thought about it. I thought about it many nights, many times that, maybe this life isn't for me. But, God works in mysterious ways, and I was able to get back up and get drafted.
Did you blame God?
I blamed God. I was mad at God. I was angry at God because I did things right for the most part. I put in that extra time, and I knew guys who didn't put in that extra time. So it made me mad. Yes, I asked God, why did he do this to me?
For sure.
I fast forward 2.5 years later, it's the biggest blessing that ever happened to me, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
So let me ask you this now. When that whole injury happened and ultimately you made a comeback, you were drafted in the 4th round by the 49ers, you tried to come back, but when did you realize during that comeback that it wasn't going to happen?
From a mental standpoint, I was tip-top. I knew my plays. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. I felt confident that I could, but my body wasn't responding. And that came around August of 2014, right when training camp had started, just around this time right now, 2 years ago, when training camp is starting. And I just noticed my knee was not responding the way I wanted it to. It would swell up. I couldn't make those cuts like I used to. It's been 2 years, so I thought going through that whole process, I would definitely be further along than I was, and I wasn't. And I worked hard. I did everything I could, and that realization came around in August. But I tried to push through it, through September, through October, and finally I just asked God, "What do you want me to do?" And I woke up the next morning. I could barely walk. I left everything out on the field. And I retired on November 5th, 2014, and I retired at peace.
Okay. We're talking to Marcus Lattimore. So let me ask you this. You said you retired at peace. At that moment, or any moment, obviously you prayed to God for a healing of some sort.
Absolutely.
So I know you were at peace, but there still had to be that same disappointment at the same time, no?
Absolutely. It was disappointment after disappointment. In 2011, I tore my ACL on my left knee. 3 months after that, my grandmother died. 6 months after that, my grandfather died. 3 months after that, I dislocate my right knee, and then I retire. You take the game away from me that I worked to get to this level. I made it, but I didn't make it. And I worked so hard to get to that level, and I don't even get a chance to play. Of course I was upset. Right. And I was mad again. But again, I've just been very, very, very fortunate in my life to have great people around me. Great family, great teachers, great coaches, great mentors, people who invested in me on a higher level. And when you ask God for things, he gives you 3 answers. He says yes. And I asked for healing. I said, God, will you heal me? And I said, God, please heal me. And he either says yes, he says not yet, or he says I have something better in mind. And I think he had something better in mind. And I can genuinely say, right now I'm happiest in my life as I ever been. Did I hate watching football in 2015? Yes. But I'm over that now. I love the game. I cheer on my guys, all the guys that I played with, and I'm excited for this football season.
Now, do you still pray for a healing?
I do. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I still work out 3 times a week. I go to a local gym, Core Wellness, and the lady is awesome. She helps me a lot. She's a physical therapist by trade, but she's certified in kettlebell instructing. So I feel good physically. I can run, I can jump, I can do what I want. And, I'll be able to play with my kids one day. And that's going to feel good.
So hypothetically, you're praying and you continue to pray. The knee starts to feel a little better. It starts to respond pretty well to workouts and things of that nature. Would you possibly attempt to come back?
Why'd you have to ask that? I think I'm at peace with football. I think I'm done with football. I love teaching. I'm a local coach at a high school right here, about 10 miles away from my house in Columbia, South Carolina. I think I'm done with football. Well, for sure, I'm 100% sure I'm done with the physical side of football. But I'll always love the game for everything it gave to me. But you probably catch me in some flag football. But no, not competitive NFL. That's a whole nother level.
We're talking to Marcus Lattimore. And so, Marcus, so let me ask you this now. Obviously, you found your true purpose in life. And through that adversity, when you were at your lowest, is when you found your true purpose. Do you think if you would have played professionally and been a big-time star that maybe things wouldn't have worked out for you, maybe on a personal side, maybe God was keeping you away from football because he knew something else negative could happen to you?
I mean, that's interesting. That's a different perspective, and I mean, it's something obviously that I've thought about. You know, I've thought about every scenario. What if I did go on to play 10 years in the Hall of Fame? What if I, did win a Super Bowl and become a rushing champion? Because those were my dreams. I can tell you that. By the time I was 20 years old, I had set my goals. I know I wanted to be drafted in the first round. I wanted to win a Super Bowl. I wanted to rush for 10,000 yards, and I wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. So those were my dreams. And I've had more injuries. I've had my fair share of injuries throughout my years of playing ball. I've had a few concussions, a lot of knee injuries, and a few shoulder things. But maybe he was. Maybe he was sending me in a direction. Maybe he was giving me a voice. For potential student athletes who go through the same thing, and who have to make that hard decision of, do you stay or do you leave, or do you keep playing or do you not keep playing? I mean, maybe I am a voice for that, and it's something that is very impactful in a young man's life, because of what I've been through. I can use this story. I can use my story. I can use my trials, my tribulations, to help other NFL or other college athletes who may be debating. I mean, who may be on the fence about something. So I can roll with that, and I'm happy to do that. But yeah, absolutely.
How good would Marcus Lattimore have been if he stayed healthy?
Oh man, I'm telling you, and I've never been a guy to toot my own horn. I mean, I've always had a great offensive line in front of me. But, I mean, when it came to the little things, I think I did that the best out of anybody. Falling forward for those extra 2 yards, making sure the fundamentals were taken care of, catching the ball out of the backfield, blocking linebackers, just making sure everything was taken care of. And I'm a team guy. I'm a team player. I had a lot of power. I had a lot of speed. I don't know how far I could have gone, and we'll never know. But I think I would have been okay.
Maybe God will give you that healing.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're talking to Marcus Lattimore. And now, Marcus, I heard, man, that you might be doing a little acting. Talk about that.
Yeah. Again, God has been good to me, and He's really opened a lot of doors. I have a lot of opportunities here in America, throughout the Southeast, and a lot of people have reached out, for me to come speak or do this or do that. And one in particular was a chance to play my story in a movie, and this came about in May of 2016, right after I graduated.
Wow.
A local director, producer, founder of North Face Christian Films told me that he wrote my life into a movie, and they were going to use it whether I played it or not. And that was really very, very humbling, and something that I'm forever grateful for. But I can tell you, actors, I respect them to the utmost now. I have the utmost respect for actors and what they go through and all the preparation, because doing a 4-minute scene took 3 hours for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Marcus Lattimore, better actor, better football player?
I got to go with better football player, man, because that was tough. But I prepped. I work hard. I have a lot of carryover from the game of football. Those things you learn from football, they never go away. The hard work, the discipline, the determination. So I knew I wanted to get it right, and I nailed it. But it was tough for me. It was probably football. It came a little bit natural, and I worked. I definitely worked for what I got, talent-wise. But God gave me a gift to run the football, so I got to go with football over acting.
But is this the start of something big for you in the acting world?
Man, I've had a lot of people reach out about doing documentaries on my life, about writing books on my life. It's something that is very exciting at the time. Especially when you get a request about something of that nature. It's
right.
Something that excites you, but it's also something that can help a lot of people. So I don't know where that side of my life will take me, but if the right opportunity opens up, I'm definitely going to jump in full force and take on that.
For sure. Now I want to ask you about Leonard Fournette. A lot of people are talking about whether or not he should sit out this season. We know he's probably going to be a surefire first-round pick in the NFL. What would be your advice for Leonard Fournette?
Well, first of all, I think that Leonard Fournette is a great human being, just a great person, great individual, and, not even to mention what he does on the field. I mean, it's a once-in-a-generation running back, once-in-a-generation talent. And whatever he chooses, I support him full. But what I would tell him is make sure that he is informed as possible. Make sure that he sits down with Les Miles, sits down with all his guys at LSU, and really look at this thing. Am I really going to be a top 10 pick? Am I really going to be a top 15 pick? You got to put your family into the equation. I don't know his family circumstances. So there's a lot of variables he has to look at. I would tell him to be informed as possible and in this case, I'm telling him to be selfish. Make the best decision for you. But him being a team guy, I highly doubt he would sit out a whole season. And I wouldn't either, because I'm a team guy. He's a team guy. He realizes, how much he loves the game of football. It's probably not going to happen. But I'm telling him, as a friend, be selfish and make the decision for you.
Right. So let me ask you a question. Other than sitting out the whole year, what does being selfish look like?
Other than sitting out the whole year, what does selfish look like?
Yes.
I'm looking at those outside variables. I'm looking at his family situation. I'm looking at his health. I'm looking at his age. All of those things that contribute to that decision, that's what is considered being selfish. And, I want what's best for Leonard Fournette. He should, in this situation, he should want what's best for Leonard Fournette. Right. And that's what it's going to come down to. What's best for me? What's best for me? I know, obviously, he's a member of the LSU football team, and he's a team guy. But that is a once-in-a-generation player.
So let me ask you this now. We have Steve Spurrier, who retired last season. Talk about his impact on your life and on you as a football player.
Steve Spurrier, wow. A legend, obviously, in the SEC. One of the greatest coaches of all time. But, what I love about Coach Spurrier is, and this is the part that nobody ever sees, he invites us over to his house. Okay. We know his wife. We know his kids. We know everything about Steve Spurrier, and we have his number on speed dial if we ever need Coach Steve Spurrier. That's what makes the biggest difference. And with him being him, he doesn't have to pick up the phone for anybody. But I can call Coach Spurrier right now, and he'll pick up the phone. And that right there, just shows what kind of person he is. Yes, he taught me a lot about how to pass block, about passing offense, about running the ball. I mean, it's so much knowledge in that man's head. It's amazing. And he will forever be the greatest coach that I've ever had the privilege of having in my life. He means a lot to me and my family.
Wow.
Him and Jerry Spurrier. So
we're talking to Marcus Lattimore. Now, Marcus, 5 years from now, what will we be saying about Marcus Lattimore?
Hopefully good stuff. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know where my life will end up, but I know I will be around youth. I'll do what I can to impact the community here in Columbia, South Carolina, especially in the state of South Carolina. These people mean so much to me. After all the support I received during my times of adversity, this place is amazing. And I mean, just the whole Southeast has been amazing to me and my family. I know I'll be around kids in some capacity. I know I'll be in the community in some capacity. But one thing's for sure, I will always love the game of football. So I don't know where life will take me. I don't, but I'm looking forward to it. Right. I'm looking forward to the future. I am.
So fans, make sure you go to his website, MarcusLattimoreFoundation.com. Also hit him up on Twitter @MarcusLattimore, and support all the great things going on with Marcus Lattimore. Marcus, man, it was a pleasure. Wish you nothing but the best of luck moving forward, man. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you for taking the time out. It means a lot.
Take care.
Take care.